Hope everyone had a good week 5. Hope you got your game in. Hope you stayed safe. Hope you called the best game of your career. Let's roll right in to some of the reviews today. So you look at the top of the screen, I got it highlighted for you in the circle. These are 2 receivers. Whoops, sorry about that. These are 2 receivers. One's supposed to be on, one's supposed to be off. As you can see, we probably do have a slight stagger. We're right at the 50, so the camera angle's pretty good for us. There is a slight stagger, you can see. Further away from the ball out we are, we preach blade of grass. We see a blade of grass, then we're good. This is legal. I assume he is supposed to be off, which would give him 4. Otherwise, they have 3, which is a legal formation. You can have 3 in the backfield. Just these 2, they would both be on. But there's a slight stagger. Like I said, blade of grass is what we preach. The further out away from the ball you are. However, this is a situation where you do want to talk to these players. This is very close. So we would talk to these players, talk to the OC or the coach if you want to. Tell them that we need a more clear stagger here. You gotta have it more clear. Have it clearer. So we don't have to. We don't want the coaches don't want us using our judgment, because my judgment may be different than another official's judgment, and they may come out and make this an illegal formation. Well, the formation isn't legal, but here's what the problem would be. So let's assume this inside guy, he's the one that's. Let's just assume they're both on the line of scrimmage. So let's say we have this as both are on. Just for the sake of argument, that's what we're going to assume. So now we already have the eligible downfield, because the inside receiver, he's over 3 yards. And he's going to catch the ball. So now you got an eligible downfield, and you have illegal touching. So this is why this play, we really need to make sure the coaches know that this formation needs to be. They need to clearly be a stagger. There has to be one. Again, we wouldn't flag this in real time. This is still early in the game. This is only the 17th play of the game. So we're still very early in the game. It's a great teaching moment, great opportunity to use some preventative officiating. Let those coaches know, hey, we got to have a clearer stagger here, a more defined formation. Also, one thing you could do, wings during the pregame, when teams are practicing their plays and stuff like that, just go stand on the line of scrimmage, kind of look at their formations, because if they ran this play during their warm-ups, then this would be a great opportunity for you to tell those receivers and the head coach, hey, make sure we have a clear stagger here. All right, here's another play we need to talk about. So we are going to have a player with a brick in his hand. There you go, 45. And he's got this player teed off from before the ball is even kicked. Going across the grain there. Look at the reaction. We got a couple of things going on this play. First, I want to talk about the most obvious. And this is a play I think that this is good coverage by the officials. Remember, on kickoffs now, we do I think this is crew of 6, we have zone coverage. So this would be right in the zone. Either the deep or the wing can pick this up. It's kind of right in the no man's land, but thankfully it does get picked up. And like I said, this player, he's got the brick in his hand from the very beginning. And you can see it, and that's part of what led to this ejection. This player was ejected. There was a foul for an ejection. And take your pick. The most obvious one you go was a blindside block. If you didn't see it coming, you have forcible contact. You can go with targeting, but targeting can be argued. I don't know if he gets them above the shoulders. So that is, you can argue targeting on that one. I think blindside block is your best one. Either one is a 15-yard penalty. And this carried an ejection. The reason there was an ejection, like I said, you can see this happening from the beginning. He had this player picked out. And then there's also the reaction he has after the play. you can tell from his reaction and everything leading up to this, he had no desire to block this player or anything football related. He just wanted to hurt him. It's obvious from before, obvious from the actions afterward. His only intent was to hurt that player. So it's an ejection. It's a warning ejection. Hits like that need to be taken out of the ball game, and players like that need to lead the game for at least a game or two. All right. The other thing we have on this play is this player's helmet comes off. Now, it comes off due to an illegal hit, so he would not have to sit out the next play, but that doesn't mean he can still participate in this play. He still has to cease his participation, which he doesn't. So he gets up and he immediately goes in and tries to make the play. So you have illegal participation here. I would, it's by the letter of the law, there's legal participation. Certainly him trying to participate in the play, even though he doesn't actively get involved in this tackle, him just getting up and going toward the play puts him in a vulnerable position where another player could come in and block him while he has his helmet off. So it puts him in a precarious situation, puts him in a situation where he could get injured. So we still don't want him participating in the play in this situation. So you actually have two fouls here. You have legal blindside block and with an ejection. We got 15 yards there. And legal participation on the other player also carries a 15-yarder. So, interesting play. A lot to look at. Again, good coverage by the officials on getting that. And it's a good job on the ejection, because that's definitely warranted. All right, let's look at the next one. All right, so you hear us talk a lot about hurdling. We tell you when to call hurdling, when not to call hurdling. I'm very legalistic in hurdling. I go by when it pertains to the ball carrier, I think you have to have a defined leg or knee foremost in the body. So like a hurdler going over a track. But in a situation where, and when you have a defender diving down, we do not. I would not call hurdling. Then you have a player just trying to make an athletic play. This, however, is a dangerous play if he had actually succeeded in the hurdle. Now, he does not succeed in the hurdle, so I would not flag this, but I'm showing this as an example of if he succeeds in this hurdle, this is an opportunity where we would flag it, because you have the defender straight up, and he's just going to try and leap over him. That's a potentially dangerous play. Even now, it's still dangerous. If that defender didn't actually grab or wrap up and tackle him, he just kind of threw him to the ground, or if the ball carrier didn't quite make it over and he kind of flips over and lands on his neck, potentially dangerous play. But it's a lot more dangerous when the player is standing up. Whether when they're diving, that's not much of a hurdle. It's not dangerous, but this is if he had succeeded in the hurdle. So when you have that player straight up, the defender straight up, and the player hurdles over him, we will call it. Again, this is not a hurdle because he did not make it. He just kind of jumped in the air and got tackled. But I just want to show that as an example of one of the rare times where we could potentially have a hurdle on a ball carrier. All right, we showed an ejection. Now we're going to show an example of taunting. Remember, sportsmanship is a big point of emphasis this year in GHSA, as it should be. You also see this point of emphasis in the higher ranks as well. So you have this player, he makes a tackle, and then he stands up, and he's just going to kind of stand over and gloat over the player as he's just tackled. This is automatic. They're going to stand over for an extended period of time. Then, we're going to pop that. There's a few things that are going to automatically get you a sportsmanship flag. This is one of them. You're going to say if you're going to stand over and gloat over a player like that you just tackled, that's going to be automatic. Taunting this other team's sideline, you make a tackle and you face them and do the money thing they do or the eating, whatever. All these little gestures they have now, stuff like that is automatically going to get you a UNS flag. Pointing to the scoreboard, usually discrepancy on that one. Typically, looking at a player, specifically a player, not just in general to the team, but specifically taunting a player and pointing to the scoreboard, that's going to be automatic as well. So there are some automatic things, and this is definitely one of them. You cannot stand over and gloat over a player like that. It's just, because what's going to happen, one of the players on the ground, one of his teammates are going to come over and just cold cock this kid. Whole fight's going to start, and it's just, we can't have that. Alright, so here's a play we're going to talk about as well. A couple scenarios we can look at it here. Now the scenario in this game is, they have 11 already. They have 11 players, and they got 4 in the backfield. So there you go, 1, 2, 3, 4. And now you have this player who he thinks he is number 11. He's really number 12. He thinks he's number 11. He's going to come running on the field. Ball snap, and then he participates. He makes a block. Kind of a block. He tries a block. So you have a lot of stuff going on here. The preventative thing to do would be, if you see this happening, so we should know, at least the R and the U, they should know you have 11. You see this guy coming on the field. He's number 12. Snap is imminent. The preventive thing to do would be to kill it. Right about now, just kill it. And we'll go 5 yards in an illegal substitution. That's the ideal thing to do. It's not what happened. He comes in. He's number 12. He participates. So now you just took, just went from legal substitution. Now we got to do an illegal participation. So we're going to add on 10 yards. We could have prevented that extra 10 yards and just gone with the illegal substitution. Now let's run this scenario by you. Say there are only 10 on the field. He's coming in. He's number 11. Ball snapped here, but we still have a flag. It's not going to be a legal substitution. Can't be a legal participation. But take your pick. You can go 5 in the backfield. You could go illegal motion because you have a player running toward the line of scrimmage. So take your pick. It's still a foul, even if he's number 11. Like I said, in this situation, he is number 12. So the preventative thing to do, again, catch this early. Should know, at least the referee and umpire should know you have 11. Catch this early and kill it right about now. Save 10 yards. Legal substitution. But as it stands now, you got to go legal participation because he actually participated. That's 10 more yards added on to him. All right, so here we have attempted field goal. We are outside the 20. So wait, this is crew of 6, so it doesn't really matter where we are. Crew of 6, attempted field goal, and it is going to be blocked. Right there, we're blocked. It is behind the line of scrimmage, anyone's ball. So deeps, once we read this, we need to be moving up toward the goal line already. Because once it's obvious that there's not going to be a field goal, we need to be moving up. There's no point in us being underneath the goalpost at this point. So we need to be moving up and covering this goal line. Because, as you can see, it is recovered by R. Right? Yeah, by R. Pretty close to the goal line. And I think we're inside the one when he picks it up and recovers it. And we don't have anyone on the goal line to read whether or not this is it breaks the plane or not. Now once he possesses it, and control, so right about now he's got possession, he's got control. The ball breaks the plane is no big deal. But as you can see, he is pretty close. Like again, we don't have anyone on the goal line to determine whether or not this ball breaks the plane. So right now he's got possession, he's got control. Now he can break the plane, doesn't matter. As long as he clears the goal line, which he does. But we got to have people on the goal line to know what happens. So deeps, once you read that there's no one, that there's not going to be really a field goal attempt at all, we need to be coming up, come at an angle if you can in a situation like that. If you're not going to make it to the goal line at an angle, just come straight up. As long as we have, because the most important thing right there is have eyes on that goal line to see if the ball breaks the plane. That is it for this week. Remember to like this video if you liked it. If you didn't like it, other button works too. We always encourage you to make comments, that stir up discussion. And of course, subscribe if you so desire. But hopefully everyone has a good week this week. This week is the halfway point after week 6. We're halfway through the regular season, so it's flying by. So good luck this week.